Right guys, just a quick little video. I've been asked about it loads of times, I get asked about it loads on coaching. So really simple, but if you don't know, you don't know. Plumbing the depth. Before you ask, do you always plumb the depth? For people that, there will be people watching that are new in the fishing game, so it is a question that you could possibly get asked. I've seen people not be able to plumb it out. You'd be amazed. Plumbing the depth is the most important thing for your session. You need to know the depth, you need to know the bottom you're on, how your peg shapes up. So yes, always plumb the depth. Now, I carry two plummets, a 30 gram and a 10 gram. For open water, I always use the 30 gram. I just find if I'm in open water, especially in the summer with stronger elastics, you can read it because you can drag your plummet around, a little bit of elastics coming out. Now, I'm not going to go into where every venue is different and time of year where you should be fishing, but you will be able to read with a big plummet. Like if you're in the silt, if you lift your plummet out, you'll feel it stick there a little bit, so you can read what's going on. In the winter, I'm not bothered about the silt. In the summer, just coming back a bit, all like I've always said to you, just fish just onto the harder slope. But as for where to actually plumb up, I always plumb to here, the bottom of the body. That's always where I would suggest plumbing to. So the water is here. It's just allowing for the stretch in your line where you're plumbing. So your float is actually going to probably you're going to hook back, it's just going to be on the bottom when you've actually took your plummet off. Make sure you drag around your peg, find any slopes, find any snags even, anything. Just take the time, see if the depth's changed somewhere. Just, like I say, it's just about getting a reading of what's in your peg. It makes life so much easier. Don't be afraid to put your plummet back on as the day goes on, especially in the summer, they churn the silt up. And even in the winter, if they've been having to go on your maggots or whatever, your peg can alter slightly, and being a bit off bottom, you'll think your peg's died and it hasn't, you're just not presenting the bait right anymore. Again, I've got my markers on my pole. If you don't, put a bit of Tipp-Ex or a bit of tape on there, just so you can make sure you're at the same depth all day, because your float will move when you're playing fish and stuff, and it's the matter of an inch or two, especially with like pellets and stuff where they suck them in the spit amounts so quick. If you've got too much line on the bottom, you won't even know you've had a bite and you'll think there's nothing there. It's amazing the difference it makes, honestly. I had it in the Golden Reel when I qualified at decoy the other week. My float slid up a couple of inches. I went from hooking every bite properly to foul hooking and stuff. It does make a huge amount of difference. Now, if the wind gets up, like I said, with pellets ain't the best when it does that, so you're going to be fishing a bit, ideally some heavier baits, or with maggots you can lay a bit on, just take them in and chew them and don't spit it out so quick. Just keep increasing, but on a really windy day I would say plumbing up to here, the bottom of the flow. It just acts as a bit of an anchor, slows the bait down from towing through, making it still look natural. So always a 30 gram in the deep water ideally. Now, what the 10 gram plummet is for is fishing mud lines, like not in the edge, because you're seeing it happening, because you're generally closer to yourself, and edge fishing, generally fishing heavy elastic if I'm carp fishing. A little one perhaps if I'm fishing for F1s. But across, if you're fishing on a slope like this, a big one is going to roll down there, give you a false reading, and then you'll go out and you'll think you're right and you'll start fishing, and where you've got a short hook length for a bolt, you float it out in the water and you think, this isn't right. Use a lighter one, it doesn't roll down so well, it will sit there, and that's what I use that for. It just gives you a better reading on a sharp slope across where you can't quite see what's going on. So it is really crucial for plumbing. Just stick to that guide of plumbing to there. It's a great start. I'd say increase if it gets windy. Think about the baits you're fishing if it's in that situation though, because as I say, like, some baits, pellets especially, they're going to suck in and blow out quicker than before you've even seen a bite. But yeah, don't have your float going through. Make sure it's, if it is windy, just keep laying a bit more line on. Always lay upwind so it's in the toe, into the toe, so it's dragging behind, the line drags behind the rig. If the toe's going across this way, lay your rig that way, so the loop, if you've got line on the bottom, it's looped round that way, always in contact with your float. That's really, really important. If you do it the other way around, the line's on the bottom and it's not actually going to be registering your float because your float's going to be going past it. So that's really important, but really, really simple plumbing up, but it is the most essential thing. If anyone's got any questions with that, as with anything else, just drop me a comment and I'll get back to you. But I think that covers it all. Catch you again soon.